Welcome back, and welcome to my nice sunny garage. These backdrops are great. This one's like 25 bucks. You can get all kinds of different pictures. You got a wall you just want to cover, garage, basement, man cave, woman cave. Highly recommend these things because I'm in a garage. It's industrial. It gets a little boring. So when you have a picture like that, it just puts a smile on your face and just gives you in a better mood. Sets the tone, especially when you're designing outdoor equipment, indoors. So, but today's video is about 3D printing. So do not click away. I know you guys hate this stuff, but like I mentioned before, you don't have to give me 100%. Just give me 10%, and this video is going to be that 10% because I found some new materials that are going to change how I move forward with the Golden Heart prospecting company that I do, selling stuff, and it may also change maybe the products that you're designing if you're having people 3D print your stuff. So it's kind of important. I think it's going to really help change our industry. Because I know people fear how weak 3D prints are. I've seen it. I've broken stuff. I mean, this leg stuff system I ended up cracking. So if you saw in my last video, I printed it out of rubber and found a new material that's working. That's why I'm doing this video. But yeah, any plastic, even injection molding, is going to break. But this stuff, TPU is what they call it, thermoplastic polyurethane. And that's right, it's a polyurethane. It's the same stuff you put on a hardwood floor in your house that could last a century, or outside on a deck that could last decades in the elements. And that's just a very thin layer. And I'm printing these thick with a higher temperature TPU, which usually melts around over 400 degrees Fahrenheit, around 220ish and higher Celsius. And this stuff is just super stretchy. It just doesn't want to break. But that flexibility works great in certain applications, like mats, but it doesn't work when you need rigidity. You can add more infill, make the part more solid, which helps, but you still get a lot of flex. So recently I started doing some more research and came up with these two filaments. As you saw in the last video, this is TPU 72D. This one is TPU 68D. The 72 only comes in like two colors right now, and this one has more options, even though I'm not really digging this blue. I need more of a darker blue, but there's just a few more options, and it's rigid. It's just a little softer, but it's still way more rigid than this. So depending what I'm doing, I have more choices now for the design and make my products. And this stuff works so good, this 72D, that I actually was able to make the screws out of it too. All these screws that hold this thing, my leg system, onto the sluice. And just for reference, I thought I had the 72D filament roll on the printer, but I had the softer stuff. So when I printed the screw, I knew something was wrong. But yeah, it bends right over. So if I was to do this screw, this thing's just going to flex and kick out. But with those same settings, now with the 72D, I can't move this. And a cool thing is I designed this pivot block to have some adjustment depending on each sluice, because they're always a little different. So I need this to clip on, stay on, but flex. In the rubber, I would have feared it would have came off, but because this stuff is rigid, I get a nice click. It can pivot, it can move all around, and it's got some resistance to come on and off, so it's going to stay on. So that was a win. So yeah, I can print all kinds of stuff now. If you followed along on my channel for a while now, you've probably seen my power washer. I designed this. We've all done it. When you have to classify in a bucket, you got to take the material and you take the classifier and shift around. It sucks, and you throw the bigger rocks out. Hopefully all the stuff fell through. Put the next shovel, go and go. What I did with this is I designed, since I already had the hose, pump, and battery, I just designed to plug the hose in here. This clips onto the classifier. It just floods it with all kinds of water and a little jet action. So when you put that scoop in, shake it around with your hand and just scoop out the big rocks. Next scoop, shake it with your hand, throw out the rocks, the bigger stuff. Probably increased the speed by 50%. It made it so much easier. Right now I had this on my file on the website, goldenheartprospecting.com. Right now, actually, all the files I only have files to download to 3D print because I had to stop printing this stuff to take a little break so I could start doing more testing. So I took that design now, and this is out of the softer rubber. I used this rubber. This is TPU 95A. It's a softer grade of the TPU, and it's cheaper. It's not like 2 for 1, but this stuff's probably more like 75% more expensive than this stuff. So if I can use this and save more money to help lower the cost, that's going to be great. But because this is rubber now, you can see it's not going to break. I didn't have any issues with that breaking, and the people that bought it never reached back out to me to say, hey, I broke it, can you give me another one? So I'm assuming there was no issues, but it's just as easy to print this with rubber. So I was like, all right, let's just make it out of this. So now this can't break. You don't have to worry about it. And right now these screws are plastic, but as you see, I can actually print the screws out of the rubber too. So this is being indestructible. And a cool side effect with this is when I had to print something out of rubber, I had to ship it in a bigger box than the size and put a lot of foam in it. And it's not so much weight when it comes to shipping, it's the size that really bumps up the shipping rates. And the thing is, you can't ship it without that thick foam, because we've all seen the videos where that delivery guy's having a bad day and he's kicking and throwing you packages. So with this stuff, I could actually wrap this in saran wrap. The delivery guy, if he's having a bad day, can use it as a stress toy. You can throw it all around. As long as it gets to the customer, it's not going to break, and I don't care. He can do whatever he wants with it. He's not going to break this. So it makes, overall, it's stronger, it's unbreakable, and it makes the shipping cheaper. So this is a huge win. And moving forward, that's all I want to do is print stuff out of rubber, and then, as I mentioned before, give a lifetime guarantee on anything moving forward I sell. So keep an eye on my website, probably in the fallish. I'll probably put out a video about this. I'm going to start printing more products to sell out of rubber, lifetime warranty, guarantee. I mean, you can break this, but you got to try. So normal use, you're not going to break it. But because I started doing more with these rigid, or these different types of filament, this one is the 72D, as you saw in the last video. It actually it works so good that it's made me realize I need to redo this setup. This is a bifold sluice, and no matter what I do, it's just too wiggly. So having a brace underneath it with this thing locked on is going to make a difference. I did this in a two-piece design. Basically, for people with smaller printers, you could just do the two pieces, put it together. I have a printer that's big enough that could do it this size, but it just makes it easier to print if just side by side like that. But obviously this is only for the 6-inch. So what I ended up doing with this one is just adding more holes. So basically the same thing, just a longer part with the holes in it. So I got a 6-inch, a 7, 8, and 9-inch option for the sluices. Just pick your size, and then because sluices are all different, I got a little adjustable set screw on the side to lock it on tight. Because this does have a wiggle to it, but once it's locked on, it really firms up. I might go a little thicker. I'm still playing around with the settings. And that is actually probably the best thing that I've done over the last few months is, this harder stuff you can print quicker, but a lot of people don't like this TPU. It prints super slow, and usually the finish isn't always that great. But I spent a lot of time just perfecting it. Plus, because I'm designing my own stuff, knowing it's going to be printed, I design the stuff so that it makes the printer happy. So the standard speeds that you usually get to have to print this stuff, I'm going 3 times faster now. I'll put a link in this in the show notes for anybody who does have a printer. I just did this little file with the TPU flexible. But if you on the Makerworlds, it actually uploads the settings. So if you have a Bamboo printer, you can print this out. First layer is slow to make it stick, but then it just kicks into second gear and it goes like crazy. And the cool thing is I'm printing even faster than what I uploaded for that. So what used to take days now, I can do in hours, and that's going to be a game changer. Otherwise, this wouldn't be worth it. I wouldn't even be making the video right now. But the options of this moving forward, I think all prospecting equipment, it should be made out of rubber, out of this TPU stuff. You're never going to break it. The durability is insane. Remember, polyurethane, this is stuff you coat floors with. So it's going to hold up for years or decades. So I thought I'd just come on. I don't want to talk too much. I know you guys hate this stuff, but I just want to show you this is the stuff that's happening behind the scenes. What I'm doing, the future. If you got something you're thinking on designing, I will say this too. I can't guarantee this. I've had a bunch of people reach out to me, say, "Hey, I have this idea. Can you do this?" And as you've been following, somebody did do that to me, and it I took the challenge of trying to invent a new gold pan, which is a pain in the ass, and I'm not giving up. I'm still doing that. But I saw some potential, so I took it on, and that was a little more than I wanted to do, but I'm enjoying the process because I'm always learning when you do that. I mean, obviously, if you need me to build you a wash plant, I can't do that. You're going to have to do that on your own. But if you had to design a new pan, I mean, I have these on my site for a free download. It's a little wave pan, nothing special. But say you did have a pan where you wanted to try a new feature, and maybe you just wanted a model made, or maybe one prototype that you're not going to sell. You just wanted it for yourself to have the one of a kind in the world. You can reach out to me, and then I can design and print it, and then I can print it out of the TPU. This one's out of the 68D. Now this pan can never break. It's a rubberized pan. It's rigid, because if I was to do it out of this, it'd be so floppy, especially when you load it up with material. But because this is more like a nylon, it's super rigid, but it's impact resistant. You could step on this, you could drive over it, it's not going to hurt it. You'll never break it. So I have the option now. And saying that, if you do have an idea, the worst I'm going to say is no, I can't do that. Go through goldenheartprospecting.com, and then there's a contact page on there. The reason I asked to do that is I want some traceability. I'm not into stealing people's ideas. I could care less about that. I want to inspire people and try to help them, encourage them to keep trying and come up with new concepts, because I don't think we do that anymore. With the phones, AI, we're just getting lazy and just dumb. And it just, we used to be such a powerhouse with our inspiration and, just our creativity, and it's just fading out. I mean, look at Hollywood. It's just movie after movie with a different character. Same plot line, same story, just change the main characters. It's getting old. So if I can encourage someone, I want to encourage them and inspire them to do this. But for whatever reason, if somebody sent me an idea and I'm like, yeah, I can do that, I'll do this for you, and then all of a sudden I started printing that idea and selling it behind their back, not that I would again, but now there's traceability. So having that email chain is accountability for everything that's happening back and forth. So it's just a win-win for everyone. So I'd rather go that route. Like I said, the worst I can say is no. I've learned so much testing that even if I say no and I see your idea, I was like, hey, you might want to try this, because from what I've learned doing this, you may have a better result. But I just figured I'd throw that on a little side note. I can't always guarantee that, but I want to inspire, encourage people. So if I can, I'm going to try. But I wanted to do a quick video on this material. I'm talking kind of fast because I know you guys don't like watching this. But I tell you, it's been great. This box, wash box I made, used to be plastic. Now look at that. You bend it all around, and it still clips. And the cool thing is, because I designed all the jets in the box, you're not going to break that. I've seen so many high banker wash box with, it's super compact here, and then they have all these plastic jets that get in the way, and you just can't get your hands in there. Nice open concept, can't break. You can probably throw this, drive over with your vehicle, never going to break. So the possibilities are crazy. And, on a side note, this material, from what I'm reading, is more for durable products like drones. So the more people use this, the more options it's going to have. But because this is still lightweight, it's rigid. Because if you were to make a drone out of this with the motors, it's just going to flex. It'd be unflyable. But because this is rigid, now you can use this stuff for drone bodies. And if you crash it into the ground, it'll take the impact. It won't break. So the possibilities, even outside of this prospecting, is huge. But obviously, we're into prospecting. That's why I'm here, and that's why I wanted to do a quick video on these new filaments. So if you keep an eye out for my website, like I said, I'll try to do some videos here and there showing you or notifying you that I'm going to start selling this stuff again. But if you've been thinking about designing something, or you're in the process and maybe you have a friend, or you're going to get a 3D printer and print it, look into the TPUs. TPU 95 for soft, TPU 72D for I believe is the most rigid right now. I could be wrong, but it's up there. And then if you just want a few more color choices and can afford just a little more flexibility, the 68D. The color choices are still horrible. I mean, this is brutal. The green is like a neon, like the yellowish neon green. I don't know why they have that color. I mean, if you want your equipment to be seen a mile away, that's the color to go, but I don't think it's going to show gold good. So, again, just a quick video. Just wanted to come in here and show that. I got to get back to test and doing some more tests with that, inventing that gold pan. And eventually I need to get back on the river to get some more gold. This summer's coming to an end. It's almost September, and that's freaking me out. You know, the 3 months it's going to be cold. So, until next time, like I said, just give me 10% on this stuff. You don't have to go all in, but just keep an eye out of the changes, because they could affect you in the future. Now you have more knowledge to use in your arsenal when you design stuff or have stuff made for you. So, I'll see you soon.